The morning erupted with the banshee-like wail of Patricia Conway's voice as she stood defiantly in front of my truck, brandishing her clipboard like a war banner. "You can't haul goats into a gated community, you lunatic," she shrieked, her face a blotchy red, veins bulging. I leaned out the window, one eyebrow arched, and said evenly, "Ma'am, you're blocking a public county road." She thrust a manicured finger at the two goats bleeding in the trailer, hitched to my pickup. "I'm calling the police. You're running an illegal farm, and you're not even HOA registered." I almost felt a pang of pity almost, as she jabbed at her phone, dialing 911 and ranting about a rogue farmer defiling her perfect Crestwood enclave. She had no inkling she'd just crossed the one man she'd lived to regret. Me, Sheriff Nathan Cole. I'd relocated to my grandfather's rugged 5-acre parcel just beyond Crestwood's HOA boundaries, a wild slice of earth I was transforming into a homestead. My weekends were spent restoring a sagging barn, planting raised garden beds, and tending a small crew of chickens and goats. My land, legally outside HOA control, hugged the edge of their manicured suburban bubble, which was enough to make Patricia, Crestwood's self-anointed HOA dictator, VYEU me as a personal insult. It began with petty glares as I drove past, then escalated to complaints about my unsightly split-rail fence, and culminated in a note shoved in my mailbox. HOA's safeguard property values. Stop defying us. Signed, concerned neighbor. I ignored her. I'd faced worse than Patricia's bluster in my sheriff's uniform drug busts, bar brawls, you name it. She was a mosquito, not a wildfire. Until she trespassed. I was scrubbing the goat trough, water soaking my boots, when I heard the telltale click-clack of heels on gravel. Patricia stormed through my gate like a one-woman SWAT team, phone aloft, recording as she bellowed. "This is an illegal operation. Zoning violations, health risks, potential goat-borne diseases." She stumbled over a feed bucket, nearly face-planting in a pile of hay, then jabbed a finger at me like I was a mob boss. "This farm's a public menace," she narrated to her phone, voice dripping with theatrical outrage. I told her she was trespassing. She snapped, "You don't lecture me on law, I'm HOA enforcement chair." Then she vowed to call the cops and shut my property down. I tilted my head, a faint smile tugging at my lips. "Be my guest." 10 minutes later, a deputy rolled up, a rookie named Jenkins who didn't recognize me out of uniform. He glanced at my muddy jeans and turned to Patricia, who unleashed a tirade about goat odors, fake zoning breaches, and aesthetic terrorism. Jenkins asked for my ID. I didn't argue. "Follow me," I said, leading him to the barn. I pulled back a tarp, revealing my marked patrol vehicle, and pointed to my sheriff's badge framed on the wall, signed by the county commissioner. Jenkins' face went ashen. Patricia, still filming, peeked in and gasped, her phone slipping. "You the sheriff?" I nodded. "Sheriff Nathan Cole. You filed a false report, trespassed on county-exempt land, and endangered livestock by barging through my gate. I'm off duty, so I'll let it slide for now." Patricia's bravado crumbled. She scurried off like a scolded cat, heels wobbling. Jenkins apologized, muttering about avoiding HOA calls henceforth. The next morning, my mailbox was stuffed with fake HOA citations. One for a commercial goat breeding scheme, another for pollen-hazardous sunflowers, and a bizarre claim of harboring rooster weapons. Patricia wasn't just irritated she declared war. Oddly VYS that she was up against someone who didn't just enforce the law, but helped draft it. I held back, attending town meetings in my sheriff's uniform, watching her fidget, her eyes darting away. Whispers reached me. She was rallying the HOA board for a surprise inspection of my agricultural misconduct. She didn't know my land carried a 1980s agricultural easement, granting me ironclad rights to farm, sell produce, and even host workshops, all beyond HOA reach. I bided my time, collecting her every move. Then another HOA envelope arrived, accusing me of odor pollution and goat noise quieter than her Thursday lawnmowers. Patricia hosted community safety meetings in her backyard, while VYing flyers with red-circled photos of my chicken coop, claiming it tanked property values. Neighbors, initially polite, grew skeptical. Some rolled their eyes, others slipped out early. I documented everything: flyers, citations, and a Don VY sit from an HOA lackey, Carl, surveying my land. I flashed my badge, and he bolted, dropping a notebook scribbled with chicken escape routes. Patricia upped the ante, slapping a doula 10,000 fine for endangering homes with my unregulated farm. A zoning inspector, my old buddy Mike, arrived, took one look, and laughed. "Your easement's bulletproof, Nate. You could host a petting zoo." He confirmed my rights to animals, sales, and more. Patricia didn't flinch. She posted online lies about my chemical stockpiles and black market egg ring. A neighbor, Walter, brought me a printout claiming I had weaponized roosters. We laughed until tears streamed, and he handed me his wife's peach cobbler, saying, "Keep it up." Support swelled. Notes thanked me for morning eggs, a fresh eggs aren't crime sign appeared, and a neighbor, Lisa, asked for gardening tips. Then came a smashed zucchini on my driveway with a note: "This isn't over." I opened a sheriff's file, logging Patricia's harassment. Her final gambit was an HOA vote to fine non-HOA properties for quality impact, spreading tales of coyotes and exploding compost. Only 10 showed. 8 voted her down. She stormed out. Unaware, I held a dossier to dismantle her reign. I set up a roadside stand: eggs, tomatoes, jam-labeled Sheriff's Fresh. Neighbors loved it, but Patricia struck, smashing eggs, and Leah VYing a note: "Cease illegal sales." I rebuilt, and kids VY cited petting goats. Patricia charged in, filming, screaming about unpermitted commerce. I flashed my food handler's permit. She cited an HOA rule against aesthetic disrupting sales. I pointed to my badge. A deputy arrived, confirmed my rights, and left Patricia speechless. A neighbor's VY deo of her rant went VY Row, captioned, "HOA meets sheriff." Patricia's HOA email vaguely accused me of disruption. I sent a letter citing my easement, fake citations, and trespassing, copying county officials. A board member, Grace, apologized privately, but I declined mediation. This was systemic. Patricia filed a restraining order, claiming I stalked her with my patrol car and weaponized livestock. In court, her wild claims, compost threats, spiritual harm collapsed against my permits, footage, and zoning letters. The judge, a no-nonsense woman, denied her order, fined her for frivolity, and ordered court costs. I tipped my hat and left. The HOA newsletter admitted defeat. Neighbors shunned Patricia. I hosted a school tour, kids giggling over goats. Her health department complaint backfired. An inspector, Ernesto, praised my farm, nominating it for a county showcase. An HOA member, Paul, moved to curb Patricia's complaints. Her board stripped her enforcement powers. I hosted Harvest Heroes Day, a festival with cider, pie contests, and music. The commissioner honored my farm as a model. Patricia watched from afar, then vanished amid applause. But Patricia wasn't done. A week later, I found surveyor flags along my fence orange for boundary disputes. She'd filed a claim, alleging my enclosure encroached on her land, citing a 1970s map long outdated. I pulled my 1999 survey, reaffirmed in 2010, pro-VYing my boundary and revealing the disputed strip as a county easement, untouchable by her or the HOA. Then I made a move. I bought the vacant lot next to hers, posting a sign, "Sheriff's Community Garden VAR Rescue Co-op." It would house roosters, hens, and youth programs. The roosters' dawn crows drove Patricia wild. She waved a broom, filed noise complaints, but my ex-deputy offered her soundproofing tips. Her 6 HOA emails went unanswered. At a fence-side encounter, Patricia, weary, admitted, "I went too far. I want to control." I nodded, but didn't absolve her. She walked away, diminished. Winter brought barn lights and a holiday event cider, stew, kids decorating coops. A rooster, dubbed Patty by volunteers, crowed loudest. But rumors swirled. Patricia was meeting a lawyer, eyeing a class action suit against the county, claiming sheriff bias. It was a long shot, but her shadow lingered, a reminder that power, once tasted, never fully fades. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.